Hey guys, I just want to make another video showing you a build I've been using recently in TVT. I think in my last video I told you it was my worst matchup by a lot, and since I switched to this build, it's gone up a bit. It's at about 50% now, which is, I guess, that's all I can really ask for. So it's Pigs 2 Reaper into Hellion, sort of aggressive harass build. You do a drop at about 5:30 with it's supposed to be a Hellion, Cyclone, 2 Marines, or 4 Marines and a Cyclone, something like that. And you start off with 2 Reapers, just to harass them and kill the Reaper if they send one to you. Just so you know, I'm only gold 2 at the time of this recording, so this isn't really high level play. But yeah, I'm just trying to improve. And this is my first sort of matchup specific build I've been using. So the build I was using in my previous video, I was using that for all matchups, but this is the first time I've actually decided to use one specific build for specific matchups. So I'm just sending the Reaper across. Yeah, this is, as I said before, this is a TVT build. I find that at gold, this Reaper can do a lot of damage. This is a pretty good example of someone reacting to it pretty poorly, I think. So a lot of people will do this, like they'll pull their drones or their SCVs, and that's obviously not the way you really want to deal with that, because Reapers can obviously kite SCVs. My Reaper dies, but I think I killed a pretty good amount of his workers there, so it's not the end of the world. Definitely, I think was worth it. I sent in another. I can't remember if I sent this. Oh no, this is just my Marine. I forgot to rally that back here. I decided not to send my other Reaper in. One thing I'm working on is microing my Reaper while sort of keeping my production going, which is something that's pretty difficult to do. So yeah, so I guess he just sends this Hellion in. He's trying to get it in, but I cut him off. And this is sort of the second part of the build. You'll see the timing's coming up here at around 5 minutes, 5:30, where I end up sending in 4 Marines and a Cyclone. And you'll see how that goes. So I'm just macroing. I usually like to start with the third base, and then after my main build, I'll build a third base, and then I'll float it over and build some barracks, and then I'll build a hinge bay for my upgrades. So here's the drop coming, and what you're going to see here, and I've done this in just a couple games, but it's specific to this map where they'll try to get greedy and they'll take this gold base pretty early. And I find that these drops, both this and the previous build I was doing, shuts that down pretty well, because you end up seeing them right around the time that they're building their third. So I do notice I make a few mistakes in SCV production. Again, I was saying in my last video, it's really, you don't really notice it until you watch your replays and you sit here and stare at how many seconds you're missing it for. I thought it was pretty decent, but when you do that, you really get a sense of how bad it's going. My previous video, people were telling me to improve on my mineral spending. So I've been working on that a lot. It's still pretty hard. I find that it's I just sometimes get to points where I don't know exactly what to spend minerals on, or I sort of let my infrastructure fall behind. Like if I don't have enough racks and I don't have enough factories and such, and I get too high on minerals, then that'll sort of get me to a point where I can't spend my minerals fast enough on things that I want. Obviously, I could just build useless stuff, but I don't want to do that. So I'm feeling pretty strong, or I'm feeling pretty comfortable with my chances here. I got my third up. I know he doesn't have his third up because I killed it. As you can see, he's going for this gold base again. So I decided to push my army forward. I'm going to wait outside his third position here. I think I scanned this a second ago, and I saw that he didn't actually have his base there. Yeah, so I just want to wait up here, and then my plan is to, because I thought his army was down here, and it actually was. So I was able to just sort of slip into his natural here, and this is pretty much game ending. You'll see the end of the little fights here. Game does go on for a bit longer, but it's essentially over at this point. I mean, I've killed most of his SCVs. As you can see, is what, 20 SCVs, 25 SCVs, my 55, so he's 30 behind. and I might be able to push in for the win here, but I decided just to play it safe. For my scan earlier, I saw that he had this base, and I scanned up here, so I saw this tank coming, so I killed that tank, and I just cut off this base just to sort of put the final nail in the coffin. So yeah, I found this build, what this build does, especially at like gold elos, is it sort of puts you in the aggressor seat, which a lot of the times can just mess up opponents. I think that it's pretty easy to evaluate something, evaluate a build, and say, well, that drop didn't do too much damage. But especially at these sort of lower elos where I'm playing, like I find that even if they just send in a Reaper, it can totally throw me off my game. He finally concedes there, but I mean the game's pretty clearly over at this point. But as I was saying, I found it's pretty beneficial just to be sort of in the driver's seat and to play the aggressor with the Reapers. My goal right now is just to sort of get from gold 2 to gold 1. I'm not trying to be a pro player at this point, so I'm trying to capitalize on this elo sort of inability to react properly to this Reaper aggression and these drops. Obviously, it doesn't work this well every time, but I think that's a good place to be. So glad you guys are watching. Check out my other videos. I'll be uploading more. My computer was broken for a couple months. But yeah, feel free to subscribe or like this video, and look forward to seeing comments in the video.